mondja ezt, remekül. Elveszett harcosok köszönnek neki, nézz a pusztán, áll egyedül.
Okay, day 4 video log, 22nd of May. Just came out of a place called Eger. Awesome little place. Quaint little town. And now I'm heading towards Budapest to book into my next bit of accommodation, which I did through Airbnb. And the guy's got parking, which is great because there's just nowhere to park in that place. So, found the unit I was meant to be in last night. I didn't get there till probably around about 5:45, so there wasn't really much I could do as far as sightseeing at that time of night. But there's a part of Eger called the Strand, and that's where everyone goes out, has dinner, walks around. So I went and found myself a little Hungarian restaurant and got myself some dinner. I had this amazing asparagus soup that had like a poached egg in the middle of it, which I thought was pretty pretty interesting, and then there was some sort of foam around it as well. Yeah, I hadn't really tasted anything like it before, but the texture was a little bit funny, but it was really yummy. And then I just had a pork steak on this sort of a potato base, which was really nice. And both of those were the chef's suggestions, because I figure, well, you know, they're going to know better than me what tastes good on the menu. So I had that. That was quite nice. So down, had that meal, and then walked around the town a little bit, probably till around about 10:30. And what a pretty little town. I mean, you know, it's like, again, it's the buildings were lovely. Everything was lit up. There was some sort of big basketball match on, so the crowds there were loads of people standing around this one building, which is obviously where the basketballers were either staying or the hotel they were staying in. I'm guessing, because it didn't look like there was a basketball hall in there, that's for sure. It looked like a pretty nice building, and everyone's just singing and chanting and going crazy. So I had a look at that for a second, didn't see much, and then headed back onto my room. I'd been speaking to the guy that had booked me into the room for the night, and he gave me a few suggestions of a few different places to go. There was this, actually he gave me about 10 suggestions, but there's no way I was going to get them all done, so I just sort of picked the two which sparked an interest and went for those. There was this resort that was about 6 kilometres away from where I was staying, which had these either, they must have been sulphur springs, because when I got there the smell was this really strong, pungent egg smell, like, you know, that sulphur smell that you get. And where this spring has come up out of the ground, there's all this rocks being calcified, or it's like a limestone. It's a really white stone, and it looks a bit like a glacier, funny enough, but it's all rock. And there was probably about, I'd say, you know, I don't know, maybe an acre's worth of this limestone cascading down this hill, and they'd built the resort backing right onto it. So you've got this pretty amazing natural wonder, and then you've got this resort that's backed onto it. And what they've done is they've redirected some of the spring water into some spas that they've made, so that you know, I mean, it wasn't open when I was there, but if you had time, you could go and have a spa in this natural spring water that was basically coming straight out of the ground up there, and you could see steam coming off it, and it looked, it was really, really beautiful. It was something like I'd never seen before. So that's pretty cool when you get to see something that, you know, you haven't seen, you know, or something that you haven't seen anything like before. So that was my first excursion, first thing this morning, and then there was under the there's this great big cathedral in Eger, very ornate, and underneath that are these wine cellars. And these wine cellars, back in the day, they went for about 4 kilometres, but they've been reduced down to maybe probably half that size. And there's one section of it that you can actually go on a tour on, and I decided to do that this morning. And it was only the equivalent of like about €3 to do this tour. I was lucky there was no one except me, and the guide could speak English, so I got to hear the whole tour in English. And basically what the story was back in the day was that the church or the monks took care of like the schools, the hospitals, like basically things every day, and they collected the taxes. So, and rather than a lot of people would collect wheat as taxes, so they'd take the food, you know. But this guy in particular, rather than do that, than take people's crops or parts of people's crops, he'd take wine, and basically with the wine doesn't go off. You know, you can sell it for. Depending on what sort of wine it is, you know, you can sell it for a couple of years. If it's great stuff, you can do it for 20 years. But so everyone would pay their wine taxes. So you've got this big wine cellar in Eger, which was effectively the I guess the treasury for Hungary, and it would all go in there, and that was the taxes. And then the monks, they would sell the wine, and then they'd use that to, you know, take care of the people or whatever. So I went and had a look in the wineries there. There's nothing left now. They've just got like a couple of big old barrels just to sort of show you what used to be there. And what they want to try and do is they want to try and turn it into a bit of a Madame Tussauds, but they've got this water problem, so the whole half of the cellar is just flooded in water, and you've got to walk over these planks and stuff to basically do your tour. But eventually, yeah, they want to do sort of like a Madame Tussauds thing with it, and just put, I don't know, guys working, statues working on, I don't know, making wine or whatever. So yeah, so that was really interesting. And he was a really nice guy, and he's the tour guide. He's off to Austria in a couple of days' time, and he's going to go rock climbing for 4 days. So he was a bit of an adventurer, and he's also given me a bit of advice as to where I should go after I've been to Budapest, which I'm staying in tonight. So I'm going to take his advice, and there's a town about probably 50-60 kilometres away from Budapest, and hopefully that'll be my second night. So yeah, so that's really cool. So that's where I'm at today, and I guess it's again that's a bit of a wrap. So music time.